there, my name is Sawtelle and welcome to my channel. Today what I'm going to be doing is I'm just going to show you a really easy way to hem a pair of pants, leaving all the distress on the bottom. Or if you have an original hem, you can leave that so you get that distress look. It's going to be the same thing. I'm going to show you how to do that. Let's get started. All you're going to need for today's project is an iron, some pins, a seam guide, a marking tool, a longer ruler, and you're going to need some coordinating thread. Here's the jeans, and these jeans are super long on her. So you can see here that they're hanging way down. All I'm going to do is flip them over and put a pin in just to hold it in place, just a pin or two. That'll hold it in place till I get it over to my surface where I'll start measuring. So what you're going to do now, you're just going to lay your pants out, and I've already folded them to where they fit. I wanted them to fit with shoes on, so I had her try them on with shoes. Now that's very important because you just want this to lie in the right place at the bottom of their foot. I want to keep this whole distressed look in the hem. There isn't a hem on here right now. All I want is to create one now. This is going to be super simple. Now I know that I want to keep this entire piece at the bottom. So I'm going to fold this up. Now, I know I've got a line here that I've already marked, and I'll show you how I came to that. I need 2 inches from here to here, because this is all staying. I'm using this as if this was already a hemline. I'm going to take my marking tool, and I'm going to mark it 2 inches, and I'm going to go all the way across. I'm going to do that to both sides. So that's where my seam is going to be. I'm going to pretend that that's already a seam there. I'm going to do the same thing to the other side. I'm just coming from the fold, and I'm coming up 2 inches. And then I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to take my big ruler, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to mark with my tool here. I've got some seamstress chalk, and I'll just go over that line. All right. So now that that's matching, I want to stick some pins in here. Now, I want to put these side seams. This is the inseam. I want to make sure that this all comes together here. I want that to stay seam to seam. And you can see this distress has even tears in it. So that is going to not quite match up on the top there. But that's okay. We can maneuver this around a little bit. Just has a little more give right there. And then I'm going to come to this side seam, and I'm just going to match those up as well. Okay. Do the same on this side. Now, because they're a little bit wider as they get down, toward the bottom, you're going to have to kind of maneuver it a little bit. It's going to have it's not going to be perfect because they're just a little bit wider, but that's okay. And as best you can here to the other side, matching up those seams. Okay, now I'm pretending that this is the original hem. There's no hem there. I'm going to create that right here on this line. I know that's 1.5 inches down. Okay, I've got my line here, and I've got my line here, and you're just going to turn these over, and you're going to draw a line on the back. And all you're going to do there is the same thing. Just come up your 2 inches or whatever the amount of inches are that you're coming up. I'm coming up 2 inches to this line, from the fold up to that line. I'm pretending that that's already where it's been sewn to have that original line there. You just take that on the other side, go up your 2 inches, and start drawing that out as well. Okay, we're going to take this over to the sewing machine, and I'll show you what's next. And I'm going to be using my zipper foot for this project. If you're on a sewing machine and you can take the arm off, you might want to do that. My machine doesn't have that option, so I'm going to just work around that. So I've got coordinating thread in the top and in my bobbin. All I'm going to do here is I'm going to open this. So I'm going to push this back piece here. See the bottom? I'm going to tuck that behind. I don't want to get that underneath my presser foot. I'm going to be following this line here all the way around. Now, I do not want to start on a seam. It's too bulky. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to just bring this closer to the seam, because I don't want to start on it, but I want to start fairly close to it to get it out of the way. And to make sure I get matched up real quick, because I want to keep these matched up. Okay? So I'm going to bring that a little closer. How about right there? I've got my foot here. This is my zipper foot. I've got that lined right up on my line of yellow. Okay? And I'm going to just maneuver again, make sure there's nothing under it. Pulling everything to be, straight. So these jeans are for my granddaughter, and she is just going to keep growing and growing. So I'm just going to use a basting stitch. I want to be able to let that out as she grows so she can get a lot of use out of these jeans. Okay, I've got my presser foot. It's a zipper foot, but it's laying on top of my line that I created. And I'm going to come down. And this is really thick. So you're going to want to go slow, especially when you get to the seams, okay? When you get to these inseams and the out seams. So I'm going to start, and I'm going to definitely give this some back stitches. Okay? The most important thing here is to keep lining this up and making sure there's nothing underneath. You're going to need to keep maneuvering it as well. I'm going to follow the presser foot right there on my yellow line. Now, the other thing is, I have so many layers right here of seam. You may want to, once you touch it, use your hand wheel. Okay, you might want to just hand wheel over that huge, thick seam. Okay, keep maneuvering it. And just follow that yellow line all the way around. I'm back to seam again, and I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to pull my pin out. I can see that my seams here are still lined up. See, they're still connected. All right, now I'm going to use my hand wheel to go over that thickness. This Juki machine works really great on thickness, but my Janome does not like it. So this machine, I don't have any problem going over thick things like that. And these pants also have some stretch to it, so it's not going to be perfect, okay? But this is definitely going to do the trick. So I'm following my yellow line, and I'm constantly maneuvering the jeans. All right, now I'm going to come to the end, and I'm going to give it some more back stitching right there. And give it some back stitches, and cut your thread right there. And do the same. And you're just going to keep doing this all the way around. Just going to go ahead, and I'm going to press that really good and flat. I'm going to use steam too. Now I'm just going to go ahead, and I'm going to take this hem. I'm going to turn it inside of the jeans. Just like that. So now this is all on the inside. Okay, this is what it's going to look like now. Take this part, tuck it right up inside of the jeans. Now remember, I used the basting stitch, so this is going to come out very easily as she grows. Okay, now what I'm going to do, I'm just going to go back to the iron, and I'm going to press that down, and I'm going to open those seams up. because I'm going to be sewing over here again in a minute, and I want this to lay nice and flat. Now what I'm going to do is I'm just going to open this seam up a little bit. I'm going to go all the way around. And see there, I want this really flat when I'm doing this. Now, on some of this, it was very tattery. Okay, you can see here, that was the look she wanted. She wanted to keep all those tatters. I'm going to press that really, really flat. Now, this is very thick here on the seams. It's super thick. If you wanted to, you could actually take a mallet and you could pound it out. I'm not going to do that, but if you wanted to, you could. Say your sewing machine is really finicky on really thick seams, you could just open this up and give it a pound right here. And that will lay flatter. Okay, I'm going to iron the other side. You can see my seams didn't match 100% perfect. It's because they're a little bit wider than the normal straight leg jean. That's okay. Nobody's going to notice that. Okay, so now that that's laying good and flat, I'm going to go back over to my sewing machine. I'm going to change my presser foot, and I'm just going to take the zipper foot off. I'm done with that. And I'm just going to put a regular foot on. And now all I'm going to do is make sure this is always pulled out. Everything's pulled out again. This will be a lot easier though, because you're going to be working on the right side of the fabric. I only want to sew on this line just on the fabric right here. So I'm lining my presser foot. This toe is following the fabric right here. I'll be just on the edge of that. That's what I'm going to go for. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to start off right closer to the seam again. Okay, I'm only on this like a tiny smidge. And I'm going to start with the back stitch. I'm going to go around really slow, and it's going to be really super thick there. So super slow so you stay right on the edge of this piece of fabric, the overhang. Okay, let's take a look here. You can see I'm barely on that edge. You're going to go all the way around, and when you get back to the beginning, you're just going to do another back stitch right there. And then you can cut your thread. So now that hem is pushed up into the pants. Okay, so there's the outside, and there's the inside. Now, that could be very annoying having that piece flopping around in there. All I'm going to do is, I've got coordinating thread. You could hand stitch this and put a couple of stitches where you can't see them. I'm going to go right beside the seam here, maybe even into the seam a little bit, and I'm just going to give it like 2 or 3 stitches and back stitch. That will just tack it down right here. So when you're on the outside of the fabric, you might see a couple of stitches right here. Nobody's going to notice that. Okay, so those are all tucked in on the inside, and I'll feel where the top of that is. Just make sure everything's pulled out again. And I'm just going to stay on this seam, and I'm going to give it 2 and back 2. And then I'm going to break the thread. You can't even see that. See, it's going to be right here. On this side, it's right here on the inside, and you can't see that either. So there's the outside where I just put those extra 2 stitches. That's going to hold that inside hem. You know, that's going to hold that from moving around. I'm going to do it to this side now. One, 2, 3, and then back and back. Okay. Now, it's right here. You can see I need to cut this thread, but you can't see that stitch. Now I'm going to do this to both of the legs, and I'm going to give it a good press. When you tuck that up in there, you want to get to the edge. You know, you want this little, where you're going to do those back stitches, you want them up high so that tacks that end down. And here's where it is on the outside. You can't see it. Again, I'll show you one more time here. Fold this in and just come up to the, go ahead and just come up to where your finger, feel your finger underneath where that is. You can see my finger right here. So I'm going to give it a stitch right there at the edge of that. You'll be able to feel that anyway because it's super thick. All right, and 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then it's tacked down right there at the top again. Okay, I'm going to unfold these. Give this a good press right here with steam. My granddaughter is going to absolutely love how these jeans fit her now. They were too long when she got them, and they are absolutely perfect now. If you're ever interested in weight loss or decluttering or anything like that, if you want, you could jump over to my other channel, Hanging with April. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, and comment. Ring the bell. Ring the bell if you want to be notified every time I put out a new video. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. If you did, please like and subscribe. I'll see you next time. Remember to keep it simple. Have a great day. Thanks for watching. Bye. Say bye, little Miss Reddy Thready.